Viewers, this is Michael Wright giving you another installment of my unauthorized tour of the University of Oklahoma. In front of the camera are the statues of OU's glorious Heisman Trophy winners. Now I ask you viewers, do you know of any other university in the country where they have actually erected statues of their Heisman Trophy winners? Probably not. I find this to be a display of OU's excessive fanaticism about football. These statues have been erected in the time in which David Boren has been the OU president, and Boren is a buffoonish fathead. He's always looking for glory in the wrong places. Now, how did this football fanaticism become established at OU? The regents of OU in 1945 believed that Oklahomans felt ashamed of being Oklahomans and that the state needed a source of pride. So they declared at that time that OU should become a football powerhouse. In Oklahoma culture, there's this idea of the Okie inferiority complex, but it is a myth. Where did it come from? Supposedly, the Okie inferiority complex is rooted in the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl of the 1930s, the severe dust storms, and also John Steinbeck's famous novel, The Grapes of Wrath, which was about the ordeals of Dust Bowl migrants moving to California and looking for work. What's so shameful about that? The fact is that John Steinbeck was sympathetic to the Dust Bowl migrants, and he was critical of California landowners and deputy sheriffs who abused them and exploited them. In fact, in 1939, The Grapes of Wrath was a popular novel in Oklahoma. I found articles in the archives of the Daily Oklahoman. One of them reported that in the Oklahoma City Library, The Grapes of Wrath was often requested by library users. Another article was by a literary critic who said that the novel was going to be a classic, and he said that in Oklahoma it was a faux pas not to have read the novel. By the way, there's frequent noise from passing cars here, so I'll have to ask you to excuse it. But getting back to the story, Oklahomans really never had any reason to feel ashamed about being Oklahomans. This favorable attitude toward the Grapes of Wrath was put in reverse when another fathead, liar, and racist named Lyle Boren was a U.S. congressman. He's the father of David Boren. On January 10, 1940, in the appendix of the Congressional Record, Lyle Boren inserted a vicious tirade against Steinbeck and the Grapes of Wrath. He said that it was a dirty, lying, filthy manuscript. He said that it was a product of a putrid mind. Lyle Boren was so ignorant that he thought that John Steinbeck invented the word Okie, whereas the truth is, Okie was an insulting term which Californians used to ridicule the migrants. After Lyle Boren wrote his idiotic tirade, members of the Oklahoma establishment got behind him and started telling other Oklahomans that they should feel ashamed of the Grapes of Wrath. And Oklahoma football became established as a way of helping Oklahoma find a source of pride. Along the way, Oklahoma University has never been an academic powerhouse. The true elite of American higher education are the universities which are members of the Association of American Universities, the AAU, which was founded more than 100 years ago by the Ivy League. And one does not have to be an East Coast school to join the AAU, but a school has to be invited to join. It has to measure up to Ivy League standards, and 75% of the existing members have to vote to approve a new applicant. OU will never be invited to join the AAU, in spite of all of Boren's boastful claims about excellence. By the way, there are 7 other Big 12 schools which are AAU members. Born through excessive tuition hikes has made OU unaffordable for average income Oklahomans. Because of this, he has launched a big recruiting campaign in Texas and other schools. He lies in order to attract enrollees from these other states. It's all rather sad. I'm a native Oklahoman. I'm an OU graduate with 2 degrees from here, and I find these statutes to be ridiculous. For more information and documentation, see my links in the associated text. Viewers, this is Michael Wright signing off.